Hi, I'm Robin Coventry. I'm the Director of Business Development for Fantini Research. Today, we're turning the tables on Frank Fantini. We want to find out what his story is. Frank, tell us your story.
Well, I was born in a log cabin a long time ago, before we had running water. Seriously, Robin, you and I have known each other for many, many years, and you and I are both ex-newspaper people.
That we are.
And during my entire adult life, I also was an avid investor. And in the mid-1990s, I discovered the gaming industry. It was a time when riverboat casino companies were emerging, and their stocks, which had rocketed sky high in the optimism of the early days of riverboat gaming, had collapsed under the reality that they had borrowed so much junk bond debt to startup operations that all their money was going into debt servicing. But what I saw was a group of companies that, when they resolved that issue, either by being bought out by somebody or by being among the survivors who can refinance their debt down to acceptable levels, that this was going to be a very profitable group of companies. And so I started investing in gaming stocks. And I started going to gaming conferences like G2E here, which was not called G2E at that time. And it's a small industry, it was even smaller then, so I got to know a lot of people in the industry. And there were a number of us who were individual investors from throughout the country who would talk to each other about gaming stocks on the message boards that Motley Fool ran on AOL. And then in 1999, AOL and Motley Fool decided to part ways. And I thought, well, gee, we can't let this community that we've created dissipate. So I'm going to start my own message board. And as a way to have fodder for conversation each night and to reach out to people to bring people into these message boards, I would publish a little newsletter every night. Well, the very first week we were online, I got a call from Stephen Kent, who's just retired this year as equity analyst for gaming and leisure at Goldman Sachs. And Steve said, we see you have a report. We would like to trade you our research for your report. The very second week, Jason Ader, who at that time was the equity analyst at Bear Stearns and who today has his own investment fund, called and said, we see you have a newsletter. We would like to subscribe to it. And oh, by the way, we'll send you our research. So it took me 2 weeks to find out there was actually a business opportunity here. And the opportunity was not retail investors like me, it was investment professionals. So we then spent the next 2 years, I spent the next 2 years going to conferences, trading business cards with people, adding them to our circulation lists. And over about 2 years, we built it up to the point where I was able to quit my employer of 28 years, which the same employer you and I shared some years ago, and do this full time. And I might mention that Jason Ader, who's the director of the company that we're in, Las Vegas Sands, as well as an investor, is a subscriber to this day, so we still have our original subscribers.
So Frank, what makes Fantini's gaming report different from all the rest?
Good question, Robin. You know, what we do is unique. Nobody else does what we do. We take everything that happened in the gaming industry the day before, everywhere in the world, that would be of interest to you if you were a C-level executive or an investor in the gaming industry. And we condense it and digest it into one comprehensive report that is structured in such a way that folks can scan through it and within a couple of minutes find out everything they want to know that's pertinent to them. Our reports will run 14, 16, 18 pages filled with data points every single day. It's extraordinarily comprehensive, and it's extraordinarily convenient and time-saving. We also have a unique audience. You know, other publications can claim that the CEO of this company or the CEO of that company gets their report, but their reports land on their desk or the coffee tables of their waiting rooms. We actually directly go into the emails of the CEOs and the top institutional investors in this industry. Last night talking with Frank Schreck, who's one of the legendary gaming attorneys, maybe the best known gaming attorney in the world. And he says, I read your report every day. It's the one thing I make sure I read. We talk with, I mentioned the fellow we've mentioned in the past named David Cordish, who's one of the most successful urban developers in our country. And he reads this report every single day. You could look at the CEOs of whether it's a Scientific Games or a Caesars Entertainment. They receive this report every single day. So I think the two things that make us unique are that comprehensive report that we do each day and the uniqueness of our audience that knows us all personally.
So you've been in this industry for a number of years now. You've had to have seen a lot of changes.
Yes, it has. As I mentioned to you, when we started, basically you had casinos in Las Vegas and casinos in Atlantic City, and you had a few riverboat casino companies in the middle part of the United States. Today we have this globalized industry. This company, again, that we're in Las Vegas Sands here at the Venetian in Las Vegas, this company now gets the great majority of its revenue from Singapore and Macau. We've got companies that a few years ago we never heard of. Say a William Hill. William Hill was a bookkeeping shop in Great Britain. Today, William Hill is an international online gaming company, including their a very big United States presence. And in fact, we'll be interviewing Joe Asher, the CEO of William Hill US. So I think that globalization is one of the great, and the growth of this industry from a kind of insular little regional industry almost, has been the biggest change that I've seen.
So where do you see Fantini Research in a few years? What additional types of products or services do you plan on offering the industry?
Well, we have actually expanded already off the platform of our daily report. We have something we call the Public Policy Review, which covers regularly all the legislative, legal, and regulatory issues that involve this industry, and that's a lot. This is basically a legislative regulatory industry. And a young lady named Laura Briggs, who has been the editor of that in the 2 years that it existed. And that also includes a legislative tracker, the kind of thing that if you wanted to have on your own, you might pay $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 for. And that's part of your subscription to that. We have what we call a conference call service, in which we synopsize every single investor conference call held in the English language throughout the world, whether it's a commercial casino, an international company, tribal gaming enterprises. We have a report that we co-publish with Eilers-Fantini Gaming, which is called the Eilers-Fantini Quarterly Slot Survey, which is an extraordinary document that gives just absolute encyclopedic knowledge of the trends in the gaming technology sector. So we have a number of other products out there. And I think that in the future, what you're going to see is you're going to see us capitalize on our associations and our good reputation to be doing research projects for people. We've done some, but we're going to be doing that a lot more aggressively and assertively in the coming years. And we may branch out and do a few more specialty publications, maybe even in a sister industry, perhaps like maybe restaurants.
So your business partners, you mentioned Eilers and Krajak. You have some other business partners, don't you?
We do. Eilers-Fantini is a boutique consultancy and research firm, and we co-published the report, which I mentioned, and we also have a marketing agreement with them. We also have a marketing agreement with Spectrum Gaming. And Spectrum, we just interviewed earlier today Mike Pollock, who's the head of Spectrum Gaming, is one of the world's leading consultancies and research firms. And they have a special line of products that we now call Spectrum Metrics Fantini. And these are very detailed, data-rich reports on gaming revenues in the United States, focused on individual regions and markets, and then also a total national report as well. And what's unique about this is that you not only get this data as a subscriber to this, but you also have the ability to go in and change the data, to manipulate it, so that you as an analytical person, say for your own company, your own investment house, that you can design your own reports, seeking out information that's important to you. So you can custom make your very own reports off the raw data that we provide to you.
Well, we'd like to thank Frank Fantini for stepping in front of the camera today and getting the lens focused on him. This is Robin Coventry. I'm with Fantini Research. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you, Robin.